Hello students, this is Miss Dalton and this is Notes 3-13, which is completing the square part 2. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, yesterday we did completing the square, in the last video we did completing the square when a was equal to 1. Well, now we're going to do it when a is not equal to 1. And so we just have to add in one more step. It's pretty much like yesterday's or the last video, but we just have to add in this one more step. So I wrote some steps down here. When a is not equal to 1, you're going to set it up just like when a is equal to 1. So you're going to put the ax squared plus the bx in parentheses. But the thing that is different is that before we had a equal to 1, so we didn't have to worry about dividing out a 1. But now the a is not going to be 1, and so we do need to divide that out of the parentheses before we start. And then when you balance the equation, you're going to have to multiply back through by a when you put it on the other side to balance the equation. Alright, so let's look at an example. In the first problem we have y equals 3x squared plus 24x plus 1. So go ahead and rewrite it as y equals parentheses 3x squared plus 24x, and then go ahead and leave a space, close your parentheses, and put the plus 1, and then leave another space to balance your equation. Alright, my a is 3, so we're going to go ahead and divide out the 3 just from the parentheses. So if you divide out a 3, you're going to put it on the outside. We can't just throw it away. We have to put it on the outside and then divide both of those by 3. So x squared plus 8x, still going to have my space here, and then plus 1. We don't have to divide by the 3 there because it's on the outside of the parentheses. Okay, now you're going to go ahead and complete the square just like we did yesterday. So you want to take half of 8, which is 4. And then you want to square that 4, and that's going to go in here. So this is going to be a plus 16. But then when I multiply it, when I balance the equation, you're going to have to multiply the 3 times the 16, because that's really how you just changed this equation. And that's what you're going to balance it with over here. So 3 times 16 is positive 48. So when I balance it, I need to do the minus 48 over here. Okay, and now just go ahead and clean it up, simplify it, and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to have y equals 3. My whole point of completing the square here is to get it to be a binomial quantity squared. So that's going to be x, and then it's always what the half of that b was. So that goes here, and then put the squared on the outside, and then now just add these together. So 1 minus 48 is minus 47. Okay. It also wanted us to state the vertex. So the vertex for this problem would be negative 4 and then negative 47, because remember the h value, you always do the opposite, but then the k value, it stays exactly what it is. So here's our quadratic in standard form, and there's our vertex. I'm sorry, not standard form, vertex form, and there's our vertex. Okay, let's move on to the next problem. Y equals 5x squared minus 20x minus 3. So start off by just putting parentheses around your first two terms. So 5x squared minus 20x, leave a space, and then minus 3, and leave another space to balance. Now let's go ahead and divide out the 5. So y equals 5 on the outside, x squared minus 4x, space, and then still the minus 3 with the space at the end. Okay, half of negative 4 is negative 2, and then when you square a negative, it is still positive. So this would be a positive 4, but then when I balance my equation, I'm really needing to balance a 20, because 5 times 4 is 20, and it's positive 20, so then I need to balance it with a negative 20. Okay, now go ahead and simplify it. So y equals 5 parentheses x minus 2 squared, and then minus 3 minus 20 is minus 23. Okay, so your vertex is 2, negative 23. And again, you can always check this on your calculator by typing in the 2y equals and seeing if they make the exact same quadratic, and they should. All right, number 3 is the secret example. So on number 3, I want you to work it out yourself, and then I'm going to ask you a question on the whisk about it. Okay, so moving on to number 4, go ahead and put the parentheses. So y equals parentheses negative x squared plus 8x space, close your parentheses, plus 7 space. All right, I'm going to have to divide out that negative right here. That is considered a negative 1, so I have to divide that out. So y equals negative 1, or you could just put negative, but it's going to change the sign. So x squared, and then positive 8x divided by negative 1 would be a minus 8x. And then my space is still there. I've got the plus 7 with the space here. So what's going to go into this space? Well, half of negative 8 is negative 4, and then negative 4 squared is positive 16. You should never, ever, ever have a negative here. But what's going to happen is when I multiply the negative 1 times a positive 16, that does give me a negative 16, so I need to balance it over here with a positive 16. So please make sure that that makes sense to you on why I had to put a positive 16 over here. Now just go ahead and simplify it. So y equals negative 1. It's going to simplify as x. Half of negative 8 is negative 4, and then that's quantity squared. And then 7 plus 16 is plus 23. Sorry, I missed my 2 there. And that is the equation. So your vertex is going to be positive 4, positive 23. Don't know why I just did that. Let me erase that. Okay, and then let's put parentheses around the vertex right here. And so I am done. It's as easy as that. All right, so answer the whisk. Please make sure you worked out all the examples. Come to class with your notes filled out. Could possibly check it. And make sure you put any questions for me on the whisk so that I can address those in class. Have a good evening.